Hello and a very warm welcome to our coverage of the final fixture of the weekend in the FA National Futsal Series, and it's from the men's Tier 1 here at Hartbury College, where York Vikings are up against London Helvecia. We've already seen plenty of action this weekend then with the game that was played on Friday night. Hartbury here as the hosts, beating Loughborough by 3-1. Manchester yesterday overcoming Bolton 3-0. And then 15 goals in the game between Bloomsbury and Wessex, 13 of them going the way of the pace setters in truth this season in Bloomsbury. Albeit Manchester find themselves at the top of the table, but Bloomsbury with the game in hand. Here is the league table, and of course it's the battle for the top 4 places, those all-important playoff places come the end of the season. This is the final fixture of the calendar year, but we'll be back with plenty more action going into 2023. London Helvecia there with a couple of games in hand on some of the other sides in the men's Tier 1, both with a mathematical chance of going into the top 4 if they are to win here, but it really is about picking up the big all-important points as the teams are in the tunnel, and we are just counting down to kick-off. Moments away with York Vikings taking on London Helvecia. Well, it's an interesting one this, isn't it, with the situation that London Helvecia find themselves in. Their game against Bolton was last time out postponed, so they didn't have a fixture on the BT Sport weekend. Before that, were beaten 7-0 by Bloomsbury, and York have looked good in some of their fixtures that they've played. Beat Wessex 4-1, and prior to that took Hartbury close with a narrow 5-4 loss. Teams are out onto the court. It's York in the red and London Helvecia as ever in their royal blue. Let's take a look at how the two teams line up then, starting with York. Here is their squad. Alex Johns is the starting goalkeeper. Jacob Wilson, George Smith, Matthew Barber and Jed Devine also start. Jack Riley, Tom Blackburn the captain, James Harrison, Patrick Pina, Jake Ackroyd, Jimmy Toure and Ramiro Monge are on the bench. Coach as ever by Junior Roberti. There's the London Helvecia squad then, just too short of the full complement today, and there's plenty of quality still throughout their team. Dimar Lahoz is skipper and starting goalkeeper. Liam Palfreman, Doug Reed, having signed this week, starts for Helvecia, joining from Birmingham. Eduardo Tijerin and Claudio Ribeiro also start. The substitutes are Liam Hine, Lewis Scott, Noah Ben Adel, Igor De Silva and Leonardo Lugli. And somewhat interestingly, there's no Enrique Guillen today for London Helvecia. Not quite sure as to why that is the case, but Liam Palfreman is on the team sheet as the player coach. Enrique Guillen, who was here yesterday with his London Helvecia women's side, as they picked up 3 points on this very court, but seemingly nowhere to be seen in Gloucester this morning. So these sides looking to follow in the footsteps of Hartbury, Manchester and Bloomsbury, and picking up 3 points to round off 2022. Before the Christmas and festive New Year break, and then the return to action will be with a couple of NFS Super Cup fixtures for these teams before the proper league games get back underway towards the end of January. We are ready to begin then. Your referees for this one, by the way, are referee Mark Burkitt, second referee Oli Rodriguez Ballinger, and the timekeeper is Ian Vaines. York there maybe just trying to steal the early advantage with the kick-off, or possibly an honest error. You could hear from the officials that it's definitely a blue London Helvecia kick-off. And we're ready to begin. Underway then, and it's certainly a very strong starting five for London Helvecia. York will know the magnitude of the task that they face today. It's important that they get off to a good start. Here's Reed with his first couple of touches back in Helvecia colours. Palfreman. Reed sends that one forward, but only to Jed Devine, and his head is out of play on the near side. Jed Devine, a young player who's somewhat set the scene alight in the Tier 1 of the National Futsal Series with his side York this season. Something a player to keep an eye on for them. He's their danger man. Long range strike there from Liam Palfreman from inside the centre circle. Was never going to trouble the goalkeeper Johns. Blackburn, the skipper, who was down as a substitute for York, but on from the start of this one. Wilson, Devine, skips past Reed, but across the cover is Palfreman. He sends it back to his goalkeeper. Reed trying to pick the long diagonal pass in search of Liam Palfreman. Out of play on the near side with the first, just over a minute played. York looking to use their goalkeeper as the extra player to try to play out from those deep-lying kick-ins in their defensive third. Something that we've seen a lot across the course of the English Tier 1 this season particularly. Dimar Lahoz, none less so as well for Helvecia. Ribeiro, can he conjure up as he sets it back for Palfreman? Into Ribeiro again, good challenge by York's captain Blackburn. Equally good tackle on him though, and Helvecia have it back. A little bit of a cagey start, both sides maybe just somewhat feeling each other out, getting a sense of the tempo of the game. Ribeiro tries to bypass Devine, but in doing so just runs out of room and runs the ball into the corner of the court. It will be a kick in for York. Would have preferred the goal clearance, but have to settle for the kick in. Reed. Very experienced player, isn't he, Doug Reed? And he's been around the top levels of the sport for so long now as Tiharin gets in. The initial signal was for that to be a goalkeeper's ball, and indeed, Bernardo Tiharin not happy with that call, but that's what we restarted with. It's a corner down the other end now for York. The first opening there for Helvecia, as the ball was played through by Palfreman to find Tiharin. Usually so clinical in front of goal, definite save. One that was just missed by the referee. Can understand the frustrations from Tiharin. It's lofted there, looking for the volley from the corner, presumably for Barber, but the execution on the set piece wasn't quite right. So important with that. Tiharin up to Lahoz, who has a lot of space ahead of him to advance into, trying to find Ribeiro with the pass. Scott sets that one short for Tiharin, and it's just behind where Claudio Ribeiro was. Into touch on the near side. Johns under pressure from a couple of Helvecia players as it's sent forward, but no red shirt, and Palfreman back there again. Helvecia now just starting to assert their control on the game in terms of the dictating of it and the possession that they're having, but at the moment a lot of it is in front of the York defensive setup. Barber, first foul of the game, moves Scott the offender. Looked a simple call. There'll be a free kick here for York. Divine takes, and York maybe here just looking to keep ball for a little bit because they haven't had much of it so far. Can't do so for long though, and it's back with Helvecia. Came so close in the summer, didn't they, to qualifying for the main round of the UEFA Futsal Champions League. Just fell short at the very final hurdle. So disappointing for them. And you just have to wonder how it's affected them this season as well, and whether they've been able to really move on from that. Wayward of where Ribeiro was, and it's out and behind for York. Divine. A couple of substitutes waiting in the wings there for York. See them shortly. Divine back in possession. Monge. Forward to Monge again. This is an opportunity for York, and it's a good save from the goalkeeper Lahoz. Probably the biggest chance that we've had so far, and Lahoz there had to make the stop as he was retreating back again, albeit Ribeiro was behind him anyhow. But a big chance, and one that York and Ramiro Monge can't take. Just scuffed the effort somewhat, didn't he? Not quite the conviction behind it that he would have wanted. But it's certainly a warning sign. London Helvecia that. Divine takes it short to Monge and across from right to left to his skipper Blackburn. Ackroyd trying to make something of that up high in the corner of the Helvecia half, but it's the reigning champions that have the ball back. Palfreman now trying to feed Lewis Scott down the right flank. Maybe not quite on the same page as him. But well, you have to say, after the game's best chance has gone the way of York, it's been a fairly even start so far. Unless they're probably having more of the ball at times, but not making much use of it at the moment. Tijerin then forward to Ribeiro, and Lahoz happy to go back before retreating back himself. Reed trying to pick the pass there to Lewis Scott. Too much on it and it's out of play and behind once more. 0-0 with nearly 5 minutes played in the first half of the final game of the weekend in the FA National Futsal Series, after an action-packed day of 5 games yesterday. It's been given away there. Ribeiro can't take advantage with Tijerin lurking to the right. Maybe just causing two minds as to whether to shoot or play the pass there, and in the end kind of ended up doing neither. Ribeiro to Tijerin. Just about managed to stab it goal bound, but again not the conviction behind the shot, and it's a comfortable stop for Johns. Forward in search of George Smith, didn't reach him, and Helvecia have it back. It's being played at a controlled tempo. We saw the men's game yesterday between Bloomsbury and Wessex start at a real high pace, lightning fast start to that game. Hasn't been quite as explosive this morning, but yeah, a controlled nature to how this one's being played at the moment, and in a sense York will be relatively happy with the start that they've made. They've kept Helvecia at bay so far. Here's Tijerin to Ribeiro. Smith's done well to get a toe in and win the ball back. York coming forward here as well, and it's Smith looking for the run at the second post of Ackroyd. It's the right idea with the initial pass played to the right, and then to try to draw the Helvecia defence across before exploiting that second post option, just not the execution again. Lahoz happy to roll it short to Reed, and now Palfreman forward to Da Silva, wearing the number 3 shirt for London Helvecia. Da Silva up to Reed in the pivot role, twisting and turning, and was he fouled there? It looked to be. Indeed it will be a London Helvecia free kick. Good position this, and the first foul against York could prove a costly one. Palfreman will plant the ball. What can Helvecia work from it, or could we maybe see a direct shot on target as well? It's an option with Reed and Palfreman behind it. Reed goes straight for goal indeed. It's blocked simply away in the end by the two-man York wall. Palfreman to Reed, those two seeing a lot of the ball in the stages of the game so far. Reed there playing a clever screen on Jake Ackroyd, I think it was. Silva there, not quite on the same wavelength though as Ribeiro. Smith, that's loose, it's dangerous, it's giving it away to Ribeiro, and it's a chance not taken for Helvecia. Probably not as clear-cut an opportunity as the one that York had down the other end. But it was presented on a plate, wasn't it? And again for Ribeiro! And again the same outcome. This time with the goalkeeper making the save, but ultimately Ribeiro, twice in a matter of as many minutes, not able to take the opportunities when they've been gifted to him. Caught the cameraman out as well by the looks of things. Didn't quite get to catch it on the replay, but we saw it initially with the opportunity presented again to Ribeiro. And usually so clinical in front of goal as well, Claudio Ribeiro. Give credit to the save as well from Johns, who was alert and reacted quickly after the error. Stays at 0-0. Palfreman up to Lahoz. Something that York will have to look at, because Helvecia are finding their way through on a couple of occasions now with use of Dimar Lahoz on that wide right flank. It's given away again to Ribeiro. Across to Palfreman, who'll strike high and wide. Last season's league top scorer, Liam Palfreman. So deadly in front of goal. Not that time. Reed back to Palfreman again. All the way across as it's allowed to run by Reed, and then a foul committed by Toure. It's the second foul against York. After that concession of the free kick on the edge of the penalty area that Helvecia struck straight into the wall. Tiherin plays the pass across. Oh, it's against the bar, out and away. Closest that either side have come so far, and Helvecia agonisingly close to taking the lead. Towards the back stick still with Tiherin there. Tiherin still trying to work the angle to shoot, but it's blocked away by Patrick Pina in the end. Tiherin into De Silva. It's all very scrappy from York, who can't quite clear their lines. Helvecia oh so close. Fortunate as well, York there, that it didn't cannon back off the crossbar and strike their goalkeeper Johns, who made the desperate dive to save, on its way back and rebound in. Somehow still 0-0. De Silva, the man who struck the crossbar with that effort, as the free kick, much to the dismay of Doug Reed, goes against him. Maybe just with a hold of the York man's shirt. It's a loose one and sloppy. York will need to cut those types of unforced errors out there, the really disappointing ones. And the spin there is Leonardo Lugli for Helvecia, freshly on. Lugli back to Tiherin again. Into Reed. Palfreman. Reed there trying to pin the defender. Didn't reach Reed though. York kicking. Approaching the midway point of this first half, is still around the game's first goal. Helvecia came very close to it though when they struck the upright. Tiherin tried to slow down initially and then accelerate away. Tiherin still goes on. Oh, it's against the bar again. Well, it would have been some individual goal from Tiherin there. Sat the keeper down as he faked to shoot. And then just lofted it over the keeper. Over all defenders, but onto the bar as well. Wow. That's twice now that London Helvecia have hit the crossbar and it's come to York's rescue. Goalkeeper was completely fooled, wasn't he, by the fake to shoot from Tiherin. Devine begging for the ball on the near side as he had acres of space, but it didn't find him. Game just opening up a little, but it's sent back in a more measured and controlled way to Reed. In possession again and up to Palfreman. Played for Birmingham last campaign, as I mentioned. Doug Reed in the fix role as the back man, but very much for a large time that we've seen him on court here, taking up positions high up the court as almost a false pivot. Palfreman to goal, it's there for the rebound and it's off target. Another big chance for Helvecia. Ugly that time, the man to fluff his lines. Ball was spinning, I suppose, as it came back to him, but it's a big chance that. Barber at the other end, just for a split second, thought it might have been spilt by Lahos, but I'm sure he'll have, it was comfortable enough as it's then sent towards the back post where Ribeiro was coming in, but it's sent behind for the corner. Ribeiro. Helvecia not happy with the call from the second referee on the far side. York ball. Blackburn just invited the pressure from Scott. Judged to have just about stayed in play. Monge. Long diagonal, it's a good one as well. Through the legs too, and then the goalkeeper called into action. Scott back to get his body in between Harrison and the ball as it was bouncing around in the penalty area, and there's a yellow card there shown as well to Jack Harrison for the challenge, subsequent challenge. And Scott broke free. Yeah, just a clip on the ankle. Knew what he was doing there, James Harrison. I think it's fair to say, and it's another foul added to the count. Palfreman. Ribeiro, wide left, toying with the York defence. Blackburn trying to stand up and close off the avenue of attack. Palfreman from range, it's blocked right in the goal mouth. York with bodies on the line. And the last line of defence. Palfreman, the line of the pass forward to Ribeiro was opened up, and then Lahos on the end of it, who was causing problems right from the start of that move with his dart forward down the right flank. It was ultimately the player who had the chance to shoot at the end of it as well, but off target. You can see him sprint back to net as well to prevent any potential counter from York. Divine. A couple of runners forward for York, but it's gathered well by Lahos. Made that one important save, didn't he, early on, to deny Monge as Tiharin gets away from Divine down wide left, and it's cut across into a very dangerous position, but Ribeiro not there that time, and Blackburn was. Tempo of the game just seems to have gone up a notch or two. Since I mentioned that it was controlled for Helvecia, maybe not so much now as Divine shoots, and Divine scores for York. Lahos with a touch, but it wasn't enough to keep it out. And Jed Divine on the score sheet again. One that you would probably expect the goalkeeper to 9 times out of 10, maybe more, gather. But York won't care a touch. 1-0. Helvecia left to rue their missed opportunities. Only takes one moment like that, doesn't it? A couple of step overs from the ever dangerous Jed Divine. And what he did that Helvecia have on so many occasions with their opportunities failed to do is hit the target, force the goalkeeper to make the stop, and when it's fumbled in like that, York find themselves ahead. Outside of his penalty area there, surely no, the goalkeeper, as he threw that long. It was a strange one. Almost certain that the goalkeeper Johns was outside of the penalty area. Got away with it. Pelfreman. Gathered that time by Johns. Pino under pressure and just settles to concede the kick in as London Helvecia here call the timeout. And it's a timeout that they need as well, because it hasn't gone their way so far. They've had the better chances, bar the opportunity that Monge had for York, which forced the stop from Lahoz. In between that and the goal, Helvecia were really threatening to score first. Wasn't to be for them, twice striking the bar. I think you can see the frustrations as well there in the Helvecia camp, and why wouldn't they be frustrated? York, they'll be delighted. They really will. Yes, they rode their luck at times in the game so far, but they'll be looking now to get through to half-time with their lead intact. Jed Devine, the scorer, again for York, and they find themselves one up at this juncture of the game. Giulio Roberti, the York manager, still with his timeout if he wishes to use it in the just over 6 minutes that remain of the half. He's just had a minute there to get the cavalry in. Corner here for Helvecia. Looking short to Ribeiro and forward towards him again. Ribeiro just tried to be intricate and improvise and let that one run through. Maybe he wasn't quite sure of the angles as he tried to let it run all the way through, catch the goalkeeper out, but it was always going wide. Ribeiro, good control, just between the runs of De Silva and Reed. Lofted high and long. Search of James Harrison. Made a nuisance of himself earlier on as well, didn't he, Harrison, in an attacking area like that. And Scott did well to get back and intervene. Reed. Ribeiro. Just checks back and then shoots. It's deflected. And in the end, deflected off Ribeiro's own teammate in De Silva. Looked as though it was heading goal bound on target. Well, yeah, De Silva just in the goal mouth. Wrong place, wrong time to divert that one wide. Alfreman, Tiharin, it's another opportunity. Fired straight at the goalkeeper though at the near post, with a save that you'd expect him to make. Option probably wasn't really there for Tiharin to cut it back, but you'd doubt him scoring from there, but Helvecia do from the resultant set piece. It's one that catches York off guard. And Liam Pelfreman, taking on the role of the player coach today, draws Helvecia level. All square. That's sometimes the benefit of just playing for a set piece like that with Tiharin when he was crowded out, getting the shot away, and was always going to win the corner from that. Exactly what happened, and from the resultant corner, Helvecia take full advantage. Pelfreman back amongst the goals. And Helvecia will feel that, given the chances that they haven't taken, the level scoreline is more than justified. Referee still yet to begin the count on the far side, which is maybe a little lenient in the way in which Helvecia there switch positions to take that kick. Pelfreyman bringing the ball forward and taking the game into the York half again. Regular play now with Lahoz back. Tiharin. And he shoots. Yes, he can! And Tiharin finds the corner. Brilliant finish. And Helvecia have spun this game around. Just wasn't enough pressure on the ball, was there, from a York perspective? And when you gift the time to Tiharin to shoot like that, it's always going to be dangerous. 2-1. You have to say as well, it's a timeout that was well called for by Helvecia and has worked definitely in their favour. I said in that timeout minute that York would be looking to get into the half-time break at 1-0, but find themselves behind now with a couple of Helvecia goals. First Pelfreyman scoring and then that thundered strike from Eduardo Tiharin. Ribeiro. Up against Divine. Toure nips in to win it back for York and his body streaming forward both left and right. It comes to the right side with George Smith and his side-footed effort was never looking likely to trouble the goalkeeper. Albeit their goal didn't come from a counter-attacking moment, but I think those have been the most promising for York, as Reid there does superbly well to skip past Patrick Pina. Breaks for Pelfreyman. It's a fine stop back there with a combination of Smith and the dive of the goalkeeper as well. And a save again to palm it away. Couple more chances for Helvecia and somehow it stays at just 2-1. Might have been unsighted on that second effort as well, the goalkeeper. He struck with enough venom as well, as this will be from Tiharin. That time it is blocked, but again, similar to how the goal came about for Helvecia, being allowed to shoot there. Helvecia's number 5. Ribeiro, good tackle. Jimmy Toure. Reid to Tiharin. Ribeiro back to Pelfreyman. He picks a good ball up to Tiharin. Challenge, but the ball breaks back for Helvecia and Pelfreyman, who has it again here. Just working York around and wearing the opposition down here, Helvecia. Not quite the final pass to find the key to unlocking the York defence that time. Diagonal, it's caught before it went out, was it? No. Thought initially it might have been, but the referee much better position on the far side to make that judgment. Two on Helvecia with a couple of minutes to play until the break. Lahoz there with the captain's armband on for Helvecia. Struck on the volley well by Tiharin. Caught that sweetly. A much better execution of the set-piece delivery than we saw at the other end when York attempted a similar corner. Forces another save from Johns. Similar set-piece to the one which Helvecia got their equaliser from, with Tiharin just smashing the ball into a dangerous area. And again, as Lewis Scott's on the end of it that time. Just couldn't quite divert it in, but certainly something that York need to look at, that with Helvecia just maybe in an unorthodox fashion, just smashing the ball into the penalty area. They've scored from it once, very nearly again there. Tiharin twisting and turning once more as it's maintained with Helvecia possession. Halfman comes sliding in and got the ball cleanly. The call there from the York bench was, we've got 2 fouls if we need them. 3-3 in that regard, going into the last minute of the half. Here's Tiharin. Couldn't find Scott. Again, it's frustrations for Tiharin and Lugley, who were in conversation that time. Final minute of the first half, a first half in which York led, but don't anymore, as the effort there is chipped over the keeper and into the far corner. And it gets better for Helvecia going into the half-time break. Liam Pelfriman with his second. Sublime finish. Really is. With the composure to dink the goalkeeper as he came rushing out like that. Pure quality. 3-1. Helvecia coming forward again here with a 3v2. Just too far ahead of Scott. That time the pass from Pelfriman. York now will be begging for the half-time buzzer. Reid just taking the sting out of everything as he looks to run down the clock to see this first half out now. Rolls all the way through to Johns. Wilson controls and into the path of Tiharin with the subsequent touch. Nearly playing himself into a little bit of bother there to Lewis Scott, I beg your pardon, but got away with it. It's going to have to be a set and shot on goal for York, with the very little time that remains, as it's set for Divine, but well high and wide anyhow. And that's half time then, with London Helvecia leading 3-1 at the midway point. Jed Divine, that man there, with the game's first. London Helvecia had chances to score before that, twice striking the crossbar, but they came back strong, and after a timeout period hit York with 3 goals before half time, 2 of them scored by Pelfriman. There's the half time score. York Vikings 1, London Helvecia 3. Welcome back then to Hartbury College for the second half. We're at the midway point. It's York 1 and Helvecia 3, having spun the game on its head in that first 20. Jed Devine scoring first for York, but then goals from Pelfreman, Tiherin and Pelfreman again. And the reigning champions find themselves in a good position going into the second half. Still plenty of time left, of course, for the picture to change. And maybe the half-time break, you would expect it would have helped York just settle things down after the onslaught from Helvecia. We're underway at the beginning of this second period. 3-1 Helvecia. York get us started in the second half, kicking from right to left in this second 20 minutes. Reed picking up possession again. He'll have been relatively happy, you'd imagine, with his first half back with Helvecia. Played a lot of minutes on court as well. Into him here and neatly back to Pelfreman. That was tidy. Finish was blazed high. Just the extra bit of quality that Helvecia oozed in that first half that was the difference in the end to put them ahead at the break. Devine across. Ball to Blackburn. Devine picks up possession on the right. Advantage being signalled for by the referee on the far side, and that'll be added on. It's as a rolling foul, the first foul of this second half. In the first minute of it, and York have a corner. Lofted high for Devine to strike on his favoured left, but always had to hook around that one. Certainly an option though from the corner that York looked to utilise. Seems to like that big volley option from the corner. First foul of the second half against York. It's one apiece. Vera picking up the loose ends. Applauded by Doug Reed. Helping across to take control of kicking taking duties. Tiherin. Up to Reed, holding off the defender in Devine. Always uses his body so well to do that. Hooked away from Reed there though by Barber, and I think the call and ask of the referees is maybe a potential handball on its way through. If it was forthcoming, as Pelfreman's abruptly told to get back to his feet. In search of Pelfreman with that pass, but it's out on the near side. Silva there through to Tiherin. It's another chance that for Helvecia, and Tiherin turned behind for the corner. Silva there back to Reed onto his less favoured left. Good pressure on the Helvecia shooting that time, which I mentioned in the first half there wasn't for Tiherin's goal. Maybe something that would have been talked about at half-time as well from Roberti, and just emphasising the message of getting pressure on Helvecia players when they're 10-12 metres from goal. Similar range to where Tiherin found the corner from. Nothing coming of that particular Helvecia set piece there, and it's in the possession of York again. Blackburn. Up for Barber, and the last touch judged to have come off De Silva. Task for York is obviously to score twice without replying in the second half, at least twice to go on and pick up a point, but they've got to make sure the game doesn't run away from them as well, and they've got to stay in it, if you like, going into the later stages where maybe they can then take an extra risk or two and play their final cards. I'm sure that would have been part of the message as well. Very much still in the game. Reed there with a very heavy touch, which he was somewhat fortunate to still come away with the ball from. Lahars forward again. Deherin against Barber and out. There's usually another live wire with the two York players alongside Jed Devine there. Matthew Barber for York, certainly has been this season so far from what we've seen of that pairing. But to really affect today's game as much as he probably wants to, though, Barber. Of course, a hugely important part of York's promotion campaign last time out was Thiago Braga, not involved today for London Helvecia, having made the switch in the summer. Haven't seen him much at all this season, in actual fact, have we? Braga, after leaving York in the off-court season. Balfourman up to Heron. All the way across to Reed. Reed spins away from Monge, and it's that controlling sense of the game that Helvecia have the grip of again. So many passes just waiting for the opportunity to arise. Forward here though on the transition, and York and Devine towards the backstick. Monge, great save. The second one's superb from Lahars. He might feel that he should have held the first. That one was simple enough, the second wasn't. Had to react quickly. Yeah, it just came loose initially. You can see the hand immediately went up from Lahars after that as well, but he did really well to react. Best chance since the restart in the second half. York on another day there would have been just one back behind. Scott squirms free down the left flank, asking the question of the referee. Corner. Referee on the far side, Oli Rodriguez Ballinger, clearly indicating that he feels the goalkeeper got enough of the ball. It's tough to see from the first viewing. It's a poor corner. Still loose scraps there though, and it's out of play. Wasteful that time from Helvecia, who were improvising a lot in their corners in the first half, and that time the improvisation not bringing anywhere near as much success. Pino up to Monge and across to the right flank for Tom Blackburn to get on his bike away down. Scott. To Heron. Goalkeeper can't here be used, having started this period of possession for Helvecia. Up to Reed. Helvecia kicking inside their own half as Liam Halfman takes a spot up on the substitutes bench as a bit of a breather for him. Take on the leadership role for the side again. There's a yellow card there showing to Eduardo Tijerin for the dissent by the looks of things. Clearly frustrated about something. Might have felt that he was fouled in that last move. Yeah, I think that is what he's arguing. Didn't say anything myself. And for his tempers rising, Tijerin there picks up a yellow card. Second yellow of the game to add to James Harrison's booking in the first half. Lugdy stayed down. It was just a heavy coming together. He stayed down. Maybe just knocked the wind out of him a little bit. I'm sure he'll be held back to his feet. Yeah, here's what happened. Yeah, it was almost a head-on collision. Purely accidental. Lugdy back to his feet and okay to carry on as well. Underway again. Monch. Smith, loose pass, which was really straight to Ribeiro. Seemed to let it run through. Lugdy trying to wriggle free of Monge and Smith. Feeds it all the way back to Reid. He's now playing as the backman for Helvecia with Palfreman off towards the back stick where Lewis Scott was ready and waiting. Didn't quite reach Scott though. Ackroyd's got tons of space on the right flank. Helvecia didn't attend to that and York didn't really exploit it either. Still as we were at half time then, Helvecia leading 3-1. Reid to Lahoz. All the way out. It's going to be a change of goalkeeper here as well, by the looks of things for York, with Johns being replaced by Jack Riley. Possibly a pre-planned switch that. Reid just leaving the ball behind, got it stuck beneath his feet. Reid to Lugdy. Now Scott. Poor pass, but it breaks back for Lewis Scott. Lugdy under pressure of the intense high press from York. Very much a side to play that way, aren't they, York? Like to be aggressive in their defensive style and try to win the ball back high in dangerous areas, not one to drop off to a half-court defence as maybe we see from other sides when facing Helvecia, as opposed to the problem of, you know, come and break us down. Smith won it there and gets the shot in. Monge it was, I beg your pardon, not George Smith. Either way, it's a promising moment that comes and goes for York. Playing at a very tight angle for Pino, and I think there you see the result of that. Always going to be difficult to score from such an acute angle. Yes, the ball arrives quicker to the feet of the shooter, but you're really going to reap the rewards of that, I'm not sure. Palfreman. Through to Ribeiro, tried to improvise and flick it round the corner. Spins away in possession, Ribeiro. Always a box of tricks when he gets the opportunity. Might look to employ a couple of them again here, but in doing so, loses out and is giving the ball away. Ackroyd, cross to the right for Pina. Lahoz makes the stop. Again, it's a counter-attack moment for York, coming from Helvecia's own wrongdoing. Lahoz to the rescue. It's a mistake at the back for Helvecia. It would have been allowed to run back through to the goalkeeper Lahoz after the touch from the pressing York player, but Palfman in the end taking no chances, and maybe fortunate that he didn't divert it wayward of the keeper but into the net. Seeing stranger things happen there as the set piece is overturned. Teheran just down at the moment. Maybe just taking a moment to get his breath back after a coming together. Looks okay to carry on. Here he is with the ball, looking to attack down wide right to skip past Ackroyd. Goalkeeper Jack Riley called into action for the first time since his introduction. Teheran feeds it through. That's an unorthodox style of York defending, and from that set piece, and you can immediately see Junior Roberti trying to have words with Patrick Pina. It was about that. He almost had three in a line at the front there, didn't they? And then just the one player behind to cope with a couple as Riley there runs himself into trouble. Long range shot drops wide. It's another potential avenue for York to use their goalkeeper more, and maybe the introduction of Riley to replace Johns is part of the thinking behind that. But it nearly caused them problems. That's flicked on, it's Devine. He skews it just wide. Just dragged the shot wide of the far post there, Jed Devine. And it broke through a couple of Helvecia challenges. Good pass from Wilson across to him. Big chance. He'll be disappointed that he hasn't at least hit the target there, Jed Devine. I don't think it'd be going too far to say that York have been the better side in this second half. Forward here to Pina, round the goalkeeper and into the net. That's 3-2, and York will certainly feel that they do deserve it. Patrick Pina pulls one back for York. Clever finish. De Silva not happy with his goalkeeper Lahoz as frustrations continue to boil in the Helvecia group. Pina with the celebration right into the heart of the courtside camera. 3-2. Game on. Could just sense it coming, couldn't you? In a way, with the opportunities that York have had. Prodded the ball round the keeper and into the corner. Great finish. Helvecia just need to be careful here that they don't cause their own problems even more in this game. Still a large chunk remaining in the match. Quarter of the game still to go. Lahoz trying to open up a passing line to offer himself as an option on the near side, but it just allowed for the comfortable ball back to Palfreman, who reintroduces himself to court to maybe get some more control again as it breaks there towards Reed. Riley with the stop initially from Ribeiro, all the way through. Ribeiro and Teheran kind of got in each other's ways there. It's one back for Helvecia and up to Ribeiro. Tijerin begging for it. York dealing with it. Harrison opting for the safety first option of just smashing the ball clear down court. A couple of times in that first half where York nearly played themselves into trouble in their defensive third as well. A couple of opportunities of note that were presented to Ribeiro, you'll remember. That time just clearing their lines, probably the sensible option. Tijerin lifts the rule out wide. Tijerin there curls the effort, but it was never going to curl enough. York will sense a big opportunity here, but not with passes like that, as they've given it away to Tijerin. Forward from Riley, who kick-starts this counter. Reed back there to intercept. Up to Pelfreman. Really well done from Devine. Back there for York. The ball's just retrieved by chairman of the league on the far side, Chris Parkin. Ribeiro back to Pelfreman, and Helvecia have lost the ball again, but they've won it back through Tijerin. Ribeiro, Tijerin's an option. What a goal! Pure quality again, oozing throughout the Helvecia ranks. Tijerin with the give and go to receive the ball back from Ribeiro, who just knew where the Spaniard was and never missing that. Helvecia back with their 2-goal lead intact, 4-2. It's a brace apiece now for Tijerin and Pelfreman in the game as well for the reigning champions, and that will make them feel much better about things, having been pegged back by that Patrick Pina goal. Torre, York will need to come back strong again. Ribeiro, risky as it went back to the keeper, and the touch meant it didn't quite reach Lahoz. Up here to Pelfreman. Helvecia here with 2 ahead of the play, but it's a wasted moment by Wilson. Up to Tijerin again on a hat-trick, and that time the dink over the keeper drops wide. Close. Close enough. Ribeiro, moves back to goal. Helvecia now with their starting 5 on court, and when these 5 have been on court, they've dictated the play for large majorities. Just over 8 minutes to play. Jimmy Torre with the pass around the corner, but only to Pelfreman. The onus now on York to come out and take the game to Helvecia, but it's difficult when the pattern of play has been as it has, and Helvecia have had so much of the ball for so long. The Haas, wide of the near post. Devine being called for by Roberti on the York bench, and the York number 11 is back on. He sparks something for them. Wilson did well there to just toe the ball back to Barber. You hear the call from Helvecia to Press high, everyone press was the shout that you could hear. Helvecia, in doing so, forced the ball out of play and win it back that way. Pelferman to Reed. Pelferman returns the ball back to the goalkeeper. Ribeiro in a bit of a sticky situation. Barber across to Divine. Just couldn't quite get his footing right to work the proper shooting opportunity. Never really seemed to have full control of it. Wilson. Divine. Good turn. Wilson. Matthew Barber, I beg your pardon, as he gets the shot in on goal. Wilson involved with that move, but Barber, the player to get the shot in at the end of it. Seemed all too easy to get past the first defender in De Silva, didn't it there? Goalkeeper's ball. Timeout card is here going to be handed in. By the Helvecia bench, although maybe the card's going in from the other side, as the call of wait a second was made by Lugley as he noticed some action down by the timekeeper's desk. Referee Mark Burkett just moving the couple of York players back the required distance. 5 metres away until the kick's taken, which it is now, back to Doug Reed. Here then we will see the timeout for York, with their timeout card just going in a little before Helvecia wanted their minutes break as well. So he'll come as a grateful stoppage in play for both sides. You have to think now this is the stage of the game where York might think about fly goalkeeper and asking that question of Helvecia. No sign of any outfield player with a goalkeeper's top on. Of course, we've got the option of using either Alex Johns or Jack Riley to take on the role of the extra man in the attacking half. But as it stands then, London Helvecia leading 4-2. With a goal apiece in the second half, and Helvecia having led 3-1 at half time. As it stands, Helvecia will be going back into the top four, and with a game in hand as well, going into the Christmas break. Two each on the foul count, incidentally, which isn't going to be really too much of a worry for either side. With just over 6 minutes left. Quickly tot up, of course, but not as it stands. York there not going with the fly goalkeeper, which is maybe testament to the fact that they feel that they can get back into the game with the regular 4v4 play, and the chances that they've crafted out when carving through the Helvecia defence are still there for more to be taken, as Reed there turns and looks to maybe kill the game off. Another Helvecia goal might do just that. Disappointed that he didn't hit the target there, Reed. On his left foot as he spun away from the defender. That one's against Tiharin, the goalkeeper keen to get the attack started quickly, but it's a poor pass from Toure. Ribeiro, good ball, Pelferman. Goalkeeper out quickly, he did well, but then it breaks back for Pelferman. trying to take advantage, but wasn't able to hit the target. Devine picks up the loose ends in the central position. Barber robbed of possession by Ribeiro, who then spins away but loses out. Back in looking for Barber, but it's a counter-attack now for Helvecia. 2v1, Ribeiro with Tijerin to the right, and that's a hat-trick. Edu Tijerin with 3 to his name today. Ribeiro just feeding it across. And Tijerin with the simplest of tasks. Well executed on the counter, that for Helvecia. 5-2, and now we will see the fly goalkeeper with desperate times calling for desperate measures for York, and Ramiro Monge has the goalkeeper's top on. Monge nearly causing problems for his own side. Needs to be quick in either getting back to net or switching with the regular goalkeeper. Fly goalkeeper again for York. These Helvecia players will be accustomed to defending in the 4v5 system. Again with that experienced starting 5 that they began the game with. All the way across to Monge, and it was a loose header back inside anyway, but ball across the line on the near side anyhow. 5-2 to Helvecia. Just over 4 minutes of playing time left. Threatened to be a difficult game today, didn't it, for Helvecia? First fixture since the 7-0 whopping of local rivals Bloomsbury. And when York scored first, you just got the sense that it might not be Helvecia's day again, but real professionalism about the way in which they've turned it around and taken control since. Tijerin again with that similar exchange with Ribeiro across. Was it handled there? Reed will put it home anyway. 6-2. And Doug Reed back in blue amongst the goals. Did strike the arm, didn't it? But would never be given as a handball with it so close to the body and torso of Matthew Barber. It didn't matter in the end anyway, because Reed at the second time of asking was able to find the net. 8 goals, 6 of them for the reigning champions. Just ran away from York now, hasn't it, in the second half? Having scored first in this second period, remember, to make the game 3-2, and yeah, since then it's just got away Junior Roberti's side. Introduction there of Noah Benadell for London Helvecia, one of the substitutes who's yet to be used, along with substitute goalkeeper Liam Hine, who still hasn't seen any on-court time, but Benadell on now for Helvecia. Wearing the number 2 shirt now. York here now, then sending Riley forward. With Monge off as a substitute, it's a long range strike which was opted for with the toe poked effort from Peanut. Maybe another chance here for Helvecia, and on the spin it was for Lugley. Helvecia corner as they look to add to their advantage. It's set back for Tiharin as York there weren't really set for that. Usually defend corners in a very aggressive manner. York, that's how Roberti likes his side to set up, but they certainly weren't there. Almost flat back inside their penalty area. The Hoz. Tom Blackburn now taking on the role of fly goalkeeper for York. We've seen him do this before when he comes on and will likely stay on, I'd imagine now, although the goalkeeper's still waiting in the wings, ready for that switch to be made. It's been given away to Tiharin. Benadell to the right, it's blocked. Benadell still there, but it didn't quite fall his way. Pina, bodies towards the far post. Pina couldn't find them, appeals for a penalty, not given, breaks back though to Monge and then off target with the strike. More hopeful asks than anything else, I think, for a spot kick. Still just 2-2 on the foul count in this half, which is maybe somewhat surprising given the intensity at which it's been played and the fact that the 4 fouls all came relatively early on in the half as well. Reed forward towards Tiharin. Blackburn was alert. And here Liam Hine will 90 seconds out there on court as he replaces Lahoz. Certainly feel that he should have saved the opening goal, Lahoz, but since then has made a string of saves to prevent York scoring on further occasions than the one that did beat him in the second with Pina. Can't go back to the goalkeeper there, Blackburn, as he tries to shield the ball out of play. Had to improvise, Blackburn, as it was played back to him, but of course can't have it in his own half. He's allowed to use his body to shepherd the ball out like that. Almost like when you're playing two-touch in a rondo and you've already had a couple. Closing in on full time. Helvecia will be heading back to the top 4. Wasn't all plain sailing though for them. Smith. Now Pina. Invited a bit to progress there by Reed, but fired only against the upright of Helvecia's latest addition. Monge. Given away, and Tiharin is set away, and Tiharin will here just roll the ball home. That's 4 for Tiharin. A star performer for the reigning champions. Won't get a much simpler goal than that. Tiharin adds another. Game very much has just escaped York now. Tiharin, who's for me been the best player out there on court today, adding another goal. Blackburn trying to pull one back for York in the very late stages. Up it goes with the net free again. Chance at the other end of the court late on for York to pull back a consolation. But this one will finish 7-2 by the looks of things. Helvecia, definitely by my counting, having scored 7 today, despite what the scoreboard says. And there goes the buzzer to signal the end of it. 4 goals for Tiharin, a couple for Palfreman, and then Reid and Da Silva on the score sheet as well. The final score is York 2, London Helvecia 7. Let's take a look at the key moments. Those are the key moments from the game then. Let's show you the results from men's Tier 1 this weekend. Here they are, with Hartbury beating Loughborough 3-1 on the Friday night fixture. Yesterday, Manchester overcame Bolton 3-0. Bloomsbury beating Wessex by a huge scoreline of 13-2. And then confirmation of the final score there, York 2, London Helvecia 7. Let's see what it does to the league table going into the Christmas break. London Helvecia there with the win to take them back into the top 4, but it's Manchester who are at the top of the tree at Christmas, with Bloomsbury just 2 points behind, and of course with that game in hand, York sitting in 6th with 6 points, with the 2 wins that they've had in their first 6 Tier 1 matches. Well, that's all from us today then. That's all from us this weekend and for 2022 as well. From all of us here at the FA National Futsal Series, we do hope you've enjoyed our coverage this calendar year, and we'll be back with plenty more in the new year too. See you in 2023. Goodbye.